I'll never forgive you for this.
But Brad, it's...
The wedding is off. I'm taking Nicole home. After that, I'm gonna come back and have a nice face-to-face chat with you.
What am I supposed to tell the guests? They're all waiting on you, wondering what's going on.
Tell them whatever you want. But they're gonna know the truth once I get back there. You can count on it.
What? You want me to tell them the wedding is off?
I'm not talking to you anymore right now. Goodbye. After that, Scarlett tried everything to get my brother to change his mind, but he wouldn't budge. Even Scarlett's parents wanted him to reconsider leaving her. That is, until he told them the reason why he called off the wedding and why he was forcing them to pay the entire cost of the wedding. Of course, they didn't believe their daughter did what he claimed she did, and they were against paying for any more of the wedding than they already had. But when Brad printed out a copy of the chat history that I had with Scarlett and gave it to them, they realized Brad wasn't lying about what she did. After reading the chat history, Scarlett's parents didn't blame my brother for calling off the wedding. In fact, they both said they would have done the same thing if they were in his position. It seems Scarlett's parents are good people, even if she isn't. They were, however, against paying for the wedding, but they didn't make Brad pay for it. Scarlett's parents were so disgusted with her behavior that they forced her to pay for the entire wedding herself and to reimburse them for the portion they'd already paid for. They told her that if she didn't, they were going to disown her and write her out of their will. I don't know exactly what happened to Scarlett after that, but Brad told me he never received a single bill for anything to do with the wedding. So I guess Scarlett's parents forced her to go into major debt to pay it all off herself. Or they disowned her and wrote her out of their will. Either way, I'm happy with the outcome.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please press the like button. See you next time!
Hey, Maria. When do you think you're going to get home today?
Huh? I already finished work for the day. I'm just about to start heading home. Did something happen?
Ah, is that so? That's just great. It's good that you're able to leave so early. That'll be a great help.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Well, starting this weekend, my parents are going to be living with us. So could you get to cleaning things up?
Wait, huh? What are you talking about?
Sorry. I guess I kind of forgot to tell you, didn't I?
You kinda forgot? I'm completely lost here. Is this a joke? You're not actually serious, are you? You're telling me that they're going to be living with us? Like, permanently?
Yeah, that's what living with us means. I mean, it's not a problem, is it? I mean, we do have a pretty large house after all.
No, wait, just hold on a second. We built this house for the two of us, didn't we? We've only been living here for a month. Why in the world would you suddenly have your parents move in? Not only that, but you didn't even ask me about it before making the decision. Why wouldn't you talk with me at all before doing something so drastic?
Well, it's my parents, so I figured there wasn't really anything to discuss. I didn't think there would be any problem.
Are you crazy? Of course there's a problem with it. For starters, you can't just go deciding something this big on your own and try to just brush it aside with some, "It'll be fine" or something. Not only that, but I never agreed at all to them just living with us. Quite the opposite, in fact. In case you forgot, I specifically said that I did not want your parents living with us when we got married.
Well, you see, about that. Remember how you were away last weekend on a business trip?
Yes? What about it?
Well, my family came to stay here while you were gone.
What? You never even asked me if I was okay with that. Not only that, but tons of our things were out of place by the time I came back. And yet, you told me you had no idea what could have happened. So you're telling me you just outright lied to me?
Hey, I wasn't lying. I really didn't know what was done. All I know is that my mom cleaned everything up, so it still ended up clean and organized, didn't it?
Don't just shove cleaning off on someone else who's not living here. You can do it yourself. Seriously, I can't believe you would just allow your family to stay without so much as notifying me about what's going on.
Hey, I told you now. So it's fine, isn't it?
What on earth makes you think that just makes it fine? Of course it isn't. It's way too late to go telling me about it after it happened.
Well, regardless, they stayed over here for a couple nights. While they were here, they were talking about how much they just loved the house. It made me really happy to hear that from them, you know?
Yes. And?
Well, I told them that it would be fine for them to live here and they got super excited about it. Their old house has really started to show its age, for one thing. And my older sister recently divorced and started living there too. Really, their place has gotten pretty cramped nowadays. So I figured that it would just work out perfectly. So we arranged for them to move in.
No. This is just selfishness on the part of both you and your family. What makes you think you all can just make such a decision without even consulting with me first? Don't forget, I live in that house too. I deserve to have a say in this. What is the meaning of all this?
Oh, stop your whining. I'm telling you about it now, aren't I? What's so bad about it? We have an open room they can use and everything.
That's a room we had decided would be our guest room. Don't you remember? I just can't comprehend what would make you think it's all right to just do something so selfish.
What? What's so bad about it?
I shouldn't even have to explain what's wrong with it. It should be obvious. Anyway, once I get back home, we're talking with them about this.
What? Why do we have to do that? That's just a pain.
Oh, it's just a pain to you? You do realize that you brought this whole situation on yourself, right?
Well, there's not really much I can say to that, but...
You don't have to say anything! We are talking to them about this. Or rather, I am going to reject the whole plan. Any objections?
Well, yeah, actually. I can't really refuse them now.
What?
I mean, if we were just a bit late, maybe something could be done about it. But my parents are already going through the paperwork for selling their house.
Excuse me? What are you talking about?
So, I think you're going to just have to start getting used to living with them. You're not about to just make them live on the street, are you? And besides, you're my wife. There's not much else you really need to speak up about, right? It's not like you have the right to anyway.
Even though this is my house?
What does that matter? You need to obey your husband. Know your place. You're my wife, so do as I say.
This is completely outrageous.
Maria, what's going on? Are you still being this stubborn about us moving in?
Wait, what are you talking about, Catherine? I thought the whole plan of living together was canceled.
You're joking, right? If you are, it's a pretty bad one.
No, it's not a joke. Haven't you heard from Ben about it?
You don't think you can just throw out your husband's family that easily, do you? Even for someone as cold as you. Surely you realize that's impossible.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't think you quite understand what the circumstances are here. Next month, our house is going to be gone. We don't have any other choice but to move in with you, whether you like it or not. I think it would be better if you stop being so selfish and just quietly accept that we're moving in. Don't you think that would be easier?
I don't think that's exactly the problem here. Please, just talk to Ben about it.
Yes, I have. And he and our parents have already agreed to the idea of living together.
Excuse me?
Stop acting all shocked. The only thing left to decide is the day we move in. So stop being so obstructive and just accept it already, you self-centered jerk. What? So now you think it's suitable to be using such language with me?
I would appreciate it if you would at least act civil.
What? I'm the one being uncivil. You're the one who's being unnecessarily selfish here.
Huh?
You are only living in your husband's house because of him kindly allowing you to do so. Don't you think it would be smarter to shut up with all the selfish talk? As his wife, you need to obey your husband's family.
What century do you think we're living in where I should just obey anything you say?
Stop talking back and get cleaning so we don't have to move into a pigsty. Goodbye. So, when are you going to be coming home today? I don't want you to be too surprised when you come home, but...
Surprised about what? It's not like you haven't shocked me enough recently.
Well, considering you were being so unreasonable about having my family move in. I talked with them, and we decided we would just move in anyway.
Are you serious?
Well, what did you expect? You were just doing nothing but complaining about the whole thing. And don't forget, they're not going to have a place to live soon. Think about what I had to go through here, with your whining on one end and my family losing their house on the other. I was caught between a rock and a hard place.
Okay, that's it. I'm at the end of my rope.
Oh, don't go saying things like that. I promise, you'll be surprised at how fun it will be to live together. And besides, a lowly wife like you doesn't really deserve to have an opinion anyway. Oh, right, I should probably clarify. It's not like we're just starting to move them in. They're already here. There weren't enough rooms for them, so I had Catherine take your room instead.
Well, I suppose there's something you should know as well then. I just finalized our divorce.
Huh?
I knew from the beginning. I knew all about how you were planning to have your parents and your sister move in today.
What are you talking about?
I heard you talking with your family over the phone. You're really not good at hiding things like that. Thanks to that, I heard you say the date you would have them move in. Of course, this was all without you even saying so much as a word to me about it, let alone asking my permission. If you were open to changing your mind even a little, I think we might have been able to make something work. But you didn't. You just tried to bulldoze over my feelings, completely ignoring me as if I had no say in the situation. So, I filed for divorce.
What are you talking about? A divorce? Really?
Well, you already had divorce papers ready to go, didn't you? You said it yourself. You figured it would be good to have them ready to submit in case either of us grew tired of the other. You even said you would have no problem with them being submitted on a moment's notice.
Huh? Did I really say something like that?
I've got our texts about it as evidence. Would you like to see them?
No, I don't need to see them, but... What do you mean you filed for divorce?
It means exactly as I said. I'm sorry. Is that concept a little too hard to grasp for your pathetic brain? We are divorced now. We are not related in any way. So I would appreciate it if you and your family all left my house. Immediately.
What? Did you seriously just decide to divorce me without even asking if I was okay with it? What the hell are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. What's that? I'm not sure I understood you correctly. Let me see if I can get this straight. The person who just moved his whole family into my house without my permission is asking why I would do something without his consent. Am I wrong? Face it, we're divorced. You're the one who prepared the divorce papers to begin with.
But wait, moving in my family and us getting divorced are completely different things.
Oh? And how are they different? I'm the one who took out the loan for this house. The house is in my name, and my name alone. Did you forget that? If you had paid so much as a cent for the house, it might be different. But you did nothing!
I mean, sure, I didn't pay anything for the house itself, but I'm still paying the bills, aren't I?
Yeah, you're paying for the utilities and that's it.
But that still changes things, doesn't it?
Oh, it changes things now, does it? And how about how you've been seeing another woman behind my back?
Pa,
What, you think I didn't know? I told you. You are terrible at hiding things from me. I practically know everything you're thinking before you do. After I worked so hard and spent so much of my savings to have this house built, you've been trying to take it for yourself. You were planning to move your family in, chase me out, and finally have your mistress move in with you instead. Did I miss anything?
what are you talking about? There's no way I would do something like that. I mean, I'm not even cheating on you to begin with.
Do you really think you can claim that now of all times? I know how you've been seeing her for over 6 months now.
What?
I've had evidence prepared for quite a while now, too. Just in case, you know. I can't say I was expecting for us to get divorced like this, though.
What do you mean, just in case?
Well, of course, for when I'm showing why you don't deserve to get any money from me after the divorce. I mean, the divorce isn't about to be canceled at this point, so for all I know, you might try to weasel some money out of me in the process. Then again, I might be able to get you to pay me for what you've done. I'll talk to my lawyer about it.
Wait, what? You're going to try to take my money? Stop messing with me. I haven't even consented to the divorce. This is all just you trying to do whatever you want.
What's that now? I couldn't understand you over you trying to act like you have a say over who lives in the house that I built. You made it sound to your family like you were the one who had the house built. And on top of that, you have been cheating on me. You're the most revolting scum of the earth I have ever met.
But, wait, that's not what I was intending at all. Do you realize how embarrassing it is to say that my wife was the one who built the house?
What? Was it too painful for your manly pride to admit? Does it hurt to know that a woman had your house built for you? You certainly sounded like you wanted me to just be submissive and obedient, not to mention do everything you say. Are you that stuck in the past that having your wife help support you is such a painful thing to admit? You know what? Don't even answer that. I don't care anymore. And I'd probably just be disgusted by the answer. We're divorced now. We have nothing to do with each other anymore. You also have no right to that house. Not that you ever did. So would you be so kind as to get you and your family out of my house?
What? Seriously? But my family just finished moving in. We just finished all that work and you're making us move out now?
I'm sorry. I don't see how I have anything to do with what you're whining about. You're the one who just had them move in without my permission, didn't you? I'm warning you. I don't have much patience to listen to your grumbling. Would you prefer I called the police over and had them arrest you for trespassing?
What? What are you talking about? You're saying you would have us arrested? I don't understand why you keep saying things like this. Please, just stop. I mean, at least it would be fine if I still lived here, right?
What are you talking about? We're divorced. Of course not.
And what about my family? Please, just let them stay here for a little while. Look at the timing here. Telling them to leave now would just be too much.
Nope. If you don't get out of the house soon, I will not hesitate to call the police.
Look at what you're saying here. Just calm down, Maria.
Oh, I'm perfectly calm. You're the one who's panicking about this, not me. I have no qualms about having you arrested for this. But if you just stop whining and leave the house, then there's nothing to worry about now, is there? At least nothing to worry about from the police now, anyway. I'll be sure to send a message to your company regarding when the hearing will be, so you don't have to worry about a thing.
You're sending something to my office? Stop. Don't do it. Don't you think you're going overboard with all of this?
Well, where else would I send it? I don't know where your future address is going to be, and your family already sold their house. Do you have some other address I should send the notice to? I mean, I'll be sending them a formal notice regarding how you were cheating on me anyway. Your mistress is your coworker, right? I believe your company has a policy about that. Don't you get it? I've done my research. The only thing you can do now is regret all of the things you've done.
I'm already regretting it. I'm sorry. But still, don't you remember? My family just sold their house. Knowing that, don't you think it's too cruel to just chase us out like this?
Oh? You want me to think about their circumstances? You're telling me that the man who cheated on me and tried to take my house from me, since you intended on doing this to me from the beginning, that's like fraud. The man who forced his family into my home and was planning to have his mistress move in as well. That man wants to lecture me on being cruel?
I mean, look, there may be a shred of truth in what you're saying, but I didn't mean anything bad by it. Can't you understand that at least?
You didn't mean anything bad by trying to completely disregard my wishes and sleep around behind my back? Well, that does sound utterly ludicrous. I can't say it really even matters anymore. Whether I understand your crap or not, we're already divorced. You no longer have my permission to live in this house. If you don't get out, I'm calling the police. That's all. I'll be contacting your company regarding the hearing and your misdeeds. There's nothing you can do to change that.
Hold on. If you really do all of that, it'll be really bad.
Well, why don't you start by telling your family? Honestly, I might add. Maybe something like, the truth is, my wife had bought the house and was simply allowing me to live there. Or, I guess you'd have to say ex-wife now, wouldn't you?
But if I do that, it will look so bad for me. My honor as a man. It'll be destroyed.
Wow! I can't believe you actually said that. How did I ever come to marry such a pathetic human being? How about how your family believed every little thing you said and did nothing but talk down to me? What about my honor as a person? I think it would be better if you just admitted that you were such a lowly person. After that, you should gather everyone up and get the hell out of my house.
Seriously, there's no way I can do that. That's impossible. I'm telling you, there's no way we can do that.
I can't say I care. Just shut up. Talking with you is a waste of time now. Get out of my house, you worthless man. Do it quickly before I call the police and they make you leave.
Hold on, please. I'm sorry. I won't cheat on you ever again. I promise.
Oh, for sure. I can imagine you won't do something as idiotic as that again. But even if I were to be foolish enough to forgive you, as I'm sure I've said before, there's absolutely no way I am going to live with your family. If there's anything else you want to say to me, you should contact my lawyer. We have no further reason to speak with each other.
But, wait. My mother will take care of all of the cleaning. You won't have to do any of the work yourself. I'll give you back the room that I had given to my sister. She can just stay in the same room as my parents. Wouldn't that be okay? That should fix all of the problems you had with living with them, right? Let's enjoy life together. All 5 of us as a family.
I don't understand how you think you have any room to make such requests. Since I would prefer not to have to deal with your pleading any further, this is where I say goodbye.
No! Wait!
Have fun trying to find a house. Maybe try holding on to it a little longer this time. It was quite an ordeal to deal with. What with my now ex-husband trying to take my house for himself and his family, but I managed to get through it. I guess the threat of being arrested was serious enough for him, because when I got home that day, there was no trace of him, his family, or his things. Over the next year, I started seeing someone else, and we've recently started living together. We're even starting to contemplate marriage, too. While I haven't heard much from Ben or his family, he had never blocked me from social media. Thanks to that, I found out that he was dumped by his mistress, and his family is stuck renting a cheap 2-bedroom apartment in the projects. I'd say I feel bad for their living situation, but they fell into this whole mess completely of their own accord. They deserved what they got. I'm just going to continue enjoying my new life without them. And that's a wrap. So, what did you think? For a guy like him to have divorce papers prepared while he's cheating on his wife, just what did he even think would happen? If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you have thoughts on how it could be made better, please leave a comment about what we can do better. Please look forward to the next one. Please open the door. Why won't you let me talk to you in person?
Absolutely not. I don't want to talk to you. Just seeing your smarmy little face makes me fly into a rage. You better leave before I call the police.
What? What did I do?
Maybe if you paid more attention to things, you'd know what you did. Or rather, didn't do. Maybe you should just sit out in the cold and think about how you've mistreated this family.
How have I mistreated anyone? Please just let me in so we can talk about this.
Why should I let you in? All you do is cause trouble.
I just don't get it. The 4 of us have been living together for a year now without any problems. What's different? What changed?
How have you not noticed? Or are you really just that oblivious?
How can I notice something if I don't know what you're talking about?
Did you really not see how frustrated I've been? How frustrated Connor has been? He comes home every day to see the house dirtier than it was when he left. All you do is laze around all day with that job of yours. You just sit in that office and stare at that screen for 10 hours and get nothing done. Meanwhile, he works day in and day out and you do nothing. If you're going to be home all day, you should at least do something around the house.
I've been trying my best to do housework when I can find the time during the day, but work just keeps getting busier and busier. I'm in meetings from 8 until 6, if not longer.
Like I believe that. I've seen you in there. All you do is watch videos and talk at the screen.
That's my job. I work in the marketing department. I have to approve video content for our ads.
Pfft, that sounds so easy. You really call that work? There's no way your little work-from-home job can keep you that busy. You can't be working anywhere as much as my dear little Connor is.
I really am that busy. I thought you might be at least a little sympathetic. Even if you never really did show it.
Why would I be sympathetic? You don't even have to leave the house. While poor Connor sits in traffic for 2 hours every day just to get home to a pigsty. You have all this extra time where you don't have to commute that you could be using on housework.
I try my best to keep up with what I can in the mornings and at night, but it's never enough. I even manage to cook most nights. But I'm even busier than I was before now that I'm working at home. At least in the office, I was able to take a break every once in a while. But now I'm booked solid every day. Maybe if Connor and I actually divided the work up a bit, it might get done more quickly. I didn't mean for it to get so out of hand, and I'm sorry if it's bothering you. It's not like I don't want the house to be cleaner. I'm trying my best, but it's hard to manage it all on my own. I'm not really sure why you're the one angry at me, though.
I'm angry on my son's behalf. You really should put him first instead of your own selfish desires.
Selfish? How am I selfish?
Connor is working his fingers to the bone every day, and he comes home to a mess because his useless wife won't bother to lift a finger.
If that's what you think, maybe you could contribute yourself and help pitch in on some of the housework? I know you have that bad knee of yours, but you could at least do a few things. Laundry, or maybe some of the cooking, for example.
What are you even going on about? It's your job as the woman of the house to do these things. Stop complaining and do your job.
I'm already doing everything I can.
You really don't know your place, do you? My son is too nice to complain to you, but I'm not. Connor does everything for your family, and you do nothing at all. He doesn't have the time or energy to do what you should already be doing.
I'm working too. It's only fair that the both of us split up the housework. And anyway, why are you getting involved? This is between the two of us.
He's my son. I should be able to have a say in what happens to him. And why are you even complaining? This is what you signed up for when you married him. You shouldn't even be working in the first place. Your place is in the home doing housework.
Shouldn't I be the one to decide that? Or at the very least, Connor and I.
Connor doesn't understand. He's just a child. He doesn't know what it's really like to be a responsible adult. And clearly, neither do you. I need to show you both how you should be acting. Don't come back until you've had a long think about what you should do. Maybe after that, I'll let you in.
I see what's going on here. You're trying to get us to divorce, aren't you? I thought I saw a strange envelope in the mail the other day, but Connor took it before I could look at it. It looked official, like it was from lawyers.
I guess you found me out. Well, I'm not ashamed to admit it. Those were from my attorney. I had him draw them up just in case it came to this.
Yeah, you definitely have no shame.
And Connor has already signed them too.
Under duress, I suspect.
If you mean he did so at my request, he did.
You pressured him. I'm sure of it.
Well, what's done is done. The ink can't be erased now. But the option is there if you want to take it. If you ask me, I think you should. Maybe add that to your list of things to ponder.
If we're getting divorced, it's not because you told me to.
I can't force you to sign, but I'd be glad to leave you alone and let you do as you please if you two just end this farce now. If you're really not interested in doing housework, then there's no point in you staying together. I'll find Connor someone who actually cares enough to do it.
Connor, honey, what's happening with your mom? She's telling me she drew up divorce papers for us, and she's not letting me in to talk to her.
What? She is?
Yeah, and she's trying to convince me to sign the divorce papers. She said you already did.
Oh, I mean, she asked me to sign something recently, but I didn't realize that they were divorce papers.
Really?
She said they were for my own protection. I guess I should have read them more closely.
Well, okay.
You aren't going to divorce me, are you?
I mean, no, but your mom wants me to. She told me to think about it. She's mad about me not doing the housework and said she didn't want you helping me with it, even though I'm working a ton myself.
Ugh. I guess I did say some stuff to her offhandedly about the housework not getting done. But it wasn't supposed to be a dig against you or anything. I can't believe she'd say anything to you about it.
Well, that makes me feel a bit better, I guess. Would you be willing to talk to her? Maybe you'll be able to talk her down a bit? She's basically locked me out of the house, so I've had to take a bunch of meetings from a coffee shop with just my phone.
I'm so sorry, Tori. But if you were the one who made her mad, you might need to be the one who apologizes.
Really?
She really just doesn't listen to me anyway. And, well, maybe you should just tell her that you'll do the housework. And maybe that I shouldn't have to do any of it.
Wait, what? I thought you said we were going to do it together.
I mean, it's just... Maybe it's not such a bad idea. I've actually been thinking about this for a while. It would really be a big help if you could just do it. I've been so tired from work lately, and I don't know if I could manage cleaning or whatever on top of that. If you just got it done, it'd be a big weight off my shoulders.
This isn't what we agreed to. There's no way I can manage it either.
Why not? If you're working from home, wouldn't it be a lot easier for you to do it while you're there? You can do it whenever you want. If I was working from home, I'd be taking long lunches and having a nap in the middle of the day. I'm sure you can find the time. That way, we won't have to bother splitting up.
Come on, Connor. Be reasonable.
I'm trying to be. I've been thinking about this since Mom and Dad moved in. Now that it's 4 of us, there's a lot more to do. It might just be easier for you to quit and take care of the house instead. After all, that's what my mom did. She would bring him coffee and cook and clean and everything, and she never seemed to mind. It worked out really well for them.
Maybe it worked for them, but it doesn't mean it will for us. I'm not your mother. I shouldn't have to be like her either.
I'm not saying that. Just maybe we should try something different. My father always seemed happy when Mom was taking care of him. So maybe you could take care of all that stuff for me so I don't have to worry about it.
I can't believe this.
Maybe Mom is right. Take some time to think about it. Go down to the cafe and have some coffee and maybe you'll feel differently. And then you can apologize to Mom and we can put this all behind us. Have you had a chance to reconsider? Once you've had enough time, get home as soon as you can. If you don't start dinner soon, it won't be ready by the time Connor comes home. Maybe you could make some stew since it's getting chilly.
I don't think I will.
Excuse me. What did you just say to me?
I've been thinking like you asked, and I've come to a conclusion.
And what's that?
Why should I work and do all the housework myself? Why can't Connor pitch in and do at least a little bit of it?
You spent all that time thinking about what you did wrong and this is what you came up with? Maybe you need a little more time.
No, I'm done thinking. There's no reason why Connor can't help out around the house. Just about every couple I know has both of them help with the housework. I know it's not how you were with your husband, but it's the 21st century. I have a job and I need to do it, and it doesn't leave me with enough time to cook and clean and all that too.
I can't believe you. You petulant little whiner. The nerve of you to speak to me like this. And to abandon your husband and your in-laws in favor of some little useless job.
You're just angry because I'm standing up to you. And anyway, this is my decision to make. Now that you're living in my house, I'm the one who gets to decide these things, not you. We'll be doing it my way. And there are 4 of us living together now. Maybe we should all 4 chip in. I know there's only so much you can do with your bad knee, but you can still fold clothes or polish silverware or even maybe help with the cooking.
What are you talking about? I shouldn't have to manage your household for you.
Then if that won't work, I'll just hire a housekeeper. Between the 4 of us, it shouldn't be terribly expensive.
I can't believe you'd even consider that. You lazy good-for-nothing. Paying for a housekeeper? What a waste of money when you could just do it for free.
So my time and labor are worthless then?
Not worth enough, at least. But even then, you should be doing it for free, out of love for your husband. When you got married, you agreed to be part of a couple, and that involves doing housework. It's just how the world works. You should be happy he even bothered to marry you.
This is so insulting. Why am I even putting up with this?
Why don't you just make it easy on all of us, Victoria? If you get divorced, this will all go away. I'll find Connor someone more suitable and you can do whatever feminist nonsense you feel like. Maybe you should go think on it a little more.
Why are you being so cruel about this? How can you just break up your own son's marriage so casually? I can't even begin to imagine what's going on inside your head.
I can see why Connor picked you. You're just as petulant as he was as a child. And you're as weak-willed as he is, too. You have this job at home where you have to do barely anything and you can't even bother to fulfill your obligations as a wife. While Connor has a proper job where he actually does something meaningful. Your home and your marriage should be your highest priority, and yet all you do is ignore them both. All of this talk about splitting the work. It's disrespectful. To me and my son. You should apologize and start pulling your weight.
Who are you to be telling me what I should do?
I'm your mother-in-law. At the very least, you should show me some respect. If you had any respect for me at all, you'd end this now and leave.
Well, if that's what you want, you've got it. I've already signed the divorce papers and submitted them for filing.
You did?
They should be processed by the court soon. It should all be wrapped up in no time at all.
Wait a second, Victoria.
Once everything is finalized, you should be receiving a copy soon. Actually, you know what? I really should be thanking you for the suggestion to get divorced. I think this is probably best for everyone.
What is this?
I'll be going to stay with my parents for a little while I sort out my finances. Someone will be by to collect my things tomorrow morning. I'd appreciate it if you leave them where they are for the time being.
Wait just a minute. Did you really sign the papers? Are you really divorcing my son?
I sure am. Everything should be formalized tomorrow.
What are you thinking? I can't believe you'd do this. Do you understand what you've just done?
Of course I do. This was all getting to be way too unmanageable, with all these demands and your guys' unreasonable expectations. No matter what I said or did, it didn't seem to change anything. So I thought I'd get while the getting's good. I was never going to be happy as a full-time homemaker, and there was no way I could work and do all the housework on my own either. And living with the three of you in that cramped house just didn't seem too appealing either. I thought it might be time for a change. I thought I might strike out on my own for once.
You horrid little brat. I should have known you couldn't handle this. I told him before you got married that it was a mistake, but he wouldn't listen. I tried to find him a girl that would be a good and dutiful wife, but he insisted on marrying you instead. And I was right all along. This is what he gets for marrying someone who wastes all their time with a piddly little job like yours.
My job isn't piddly. I make way more than Connor ever did.
What? How?
I am a marketing manager. I make $220,000 a year.
You do?
Did Connor never say anything? I changed jobs last year, and it was a big bump in pay. That's how I ended up working at home. The company I work for now is 100% remote. I actually rather liked going into the office, but I decided I wouldn't mind working from home.
You must be lying. Connor would have told me.
I guess he never did. Maybe he was embarrassed that I was making so much more?
But Connor works so much, and with that awful commute. Why would he put up with it if you're making so much money? It's such a waste.
I couldn't really tell you. Maybe you should ask him. I told him he could quit or even find something else, but he insisted on staying where he was. But now that we're divorced, it's probably a good thing he's got that work ethic. He'll need it if he wants to keep living the way we were.
What? Do you think he can't afford this house?
I'm not sure. Maybe he can figure it out. It might be tough, though, especially with an old lady like you clinging to him.
How dare you? Calling me an old lady? How rude!
Oh, I apologize. It must be my petulant streak again. Anyway, thanks for everything. It's been a blast, really. I hope it all works out for you.
Hey, Tori. Is it true? Did you really sign the divorce papers? Mom just called me in a panic. She's wrong, isn't she?
No, she's right. I signed them and submitted them to the court. Your signatures were already on there and you never did bother to get rid of them, so I figured your mind was already made up. It didn't seem like it was worth it to drag this on any longer.
Whoa, wait a second. Is this about me asking you to do the housework? That shouldn't be enough to get divorced. We can work it out.
It's not just that. And I'm not sure we can.
Come on, Tori. Don't be this way. We can figure something out. Isn't there a way we can stop this so we can come up with a better solution?
There may be, but I'm not sure. Anyway, at this point, what's done is done. The court is processing the request as we speak. It'll all be finalized by tomorrow. It's probably too late now. You can try stopping it, but I'm not sure you can at this point.
Please, Tori, be reasonable. Just come home so we can talk this out. I'll come home from work early. Please, just talk to me about this. My mom said some things she didn't really mean. I'm sure she'll apologize.
I don't think I'll bother. At this point, I don't really see a way you'll be able to convince me to get back together. In fact, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Now I can spend my money how I feel like. And I don't have to worry about juggling my job and all the housework you refuse to do. I just don't think we'll ever quite come to an agreement that will make me happy. So it's just better if I remove myself from the situation entirely.
There's got to be something I can do. I'll do more housework if you come back, I promise. Please, just come home.
I'm good. I'm heading to see my parents for a while before I go searching for a new apartment. I've already bought the ticket and I'm already at the airport. It would be a waste not to take the flight. Anyway, bye, Connor. Hope you and your parents can get along on your own.
How have you been, Tori?
Oh, good, thank you.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has.
Have you been well?
You know what? I have. All thanks to you. I didn't think much of it at the time of the divorce, but what you did for me was the best thing to ever happen. I found more time to dedicate to work and even got on a promotion.
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
Is there something I can help you with, Martha?
Oh, well, it's just that. I wanted to apologize for everything with the divorce. We really do regret driving you away like that. I didn't really mean to be so cold towards you. And I was hoping we might be able to have a little talk about what happened.
Oh, is that so?
It might be a good idea for us to talk things out a bit now that we've all had a chance to cool down and reconsider. Things have been a little tough for the three of us since everything transpired. We were thinking, maybe you could come back and live with us again? That won't be an issue, will it?
No, I think it will be an issue. It feels like a waste of time since I have no plans on getting back together with your son.
Why not? Don't you think we can find a compromise?
At this point, we're well past compromise.
Aren't you being a little selfish?
You're the selfish one here. You just want me to come back to do all the housework for you.
Well, then how about this? Why don't you hire my husband as your assistant?
What are you even talking about? Where is this coming from?
He's here all day and all he does is sit around and watch sports. He's content to just collect his social security check and do nothing, but he's driving me crazy. He needs something to do all day that isn't pestering me. Without you here, there's no one else to talk to. Can't you just pay him a little bit to do some easy stuff for you? Say, $60,000.
Why would I ever do that? I don't need an assistant, especially one with no experience. And for that, I can find someone with actual time in the industry.
All you did was complain about how busy you were. He could help you, I'm sure. After all, how hard could your job be if you can do it at home?
Hard enough. I really don't have the time to be talking to you. Bye.
Wait, don't go. If he won't cut it, what about me? I can clean your house. Since you're so busy with your work, I might be able to help you with all the chores so you don't have to worry. I don't need much, just $50,000 or so a year. I'll even do all the cooking. I'll make you lunch and dinner every day.
I can take care of myself, thanks.
Then why not just help us out a little? You make so much. Can't you spare at least a little? It shouldn't be a problem with your salary. You have such a big, important job. Can't you share the love a bit?
I'm surprised. Your opinion about working from home definitely seems to have changed in the past few months. It's almost as if the moment I divorced your son, something happened to change your mind.
Nothing happened. I just understand the situation better. But if you're not willing to go for $50,000, I could probably manage with $40,000. After all, I am quite an experienced house cleaner. I was a homemaker for over 20 years. I promise you'll get your money's worth.
Maybe. Why don't we start from, let's say $0 a year and work our way up from there? After all, you said it yourself. Housework should be free. So you should be fine without pay, right? Maybe if I'm feeling generous, I might give you a bonus.
Well,
You know, I could really use a housekeeper. And what a bargain you'd be! Things really do get to be a bit of a mess around here. All right, I accept your offer at $0.
Wait, you aren't serious, are you?
Why wouldn't I be?
You're just as disrespectful as ever. I should have known. Why do I even bother with you?
I'm just following your rules. And you bragged about being a housewife working for free for your husband. Why does it matter who you do it for?
Why would I work for someone else for free?
That's a good question. Now that I think about it, it doesn't really make much sense. Housework is quite a difficult job after all. It does seem pretty unfair to have to do all of it yourself for no compensation. And it's such a waste to spend all that time on something you don't get paid for when you could be out there making a living. Time is money, as they say.
Well, if I were making the kind of money you make, I guess I might see it differently. If I had realized before, maybe I would have felt differently.
Do you think so? It seems to me that you probably wouldn't have really felt all that differently. But money does change things, I suppose.
I guess it does.
Well, if that's all you care about, I'm not sure I have much other reason to talk to you. I'm not getting back with your son. And I'm not going to hire you. So, why bother? Bye! After that last conversation, I blocked Martha and Connor once and for all. Ever since then, I've been living free and easy, unbothered by money-hungry people like them. Newly single and ready to mingle, I've been using my money to travel. Since I'm completely remote, I was even able to arrange a kind of workcation and travel around the world. I'm happier than ever, living a life I never imagined for myself while I was still tied down to Connor and his family. I even met a new man while I was traveling, and I'm thinking about trying marriage out again. Thinking back, getting divorced was the best decision I ever made, and one that truly turned my life around for the better. I have no regrets, though the same can't be said for Connor and his parents. I heard through the grapevine that Connor's parents have been having a bit of a marital spat. With no one left to do the housework and Martha's knee pain only getting worse, a fight broke out between the two. Her husband insisted she, as the woman in the house, do the cooking and cleaning, in spite of her condition. The fight eventually made its way to Connor, who selfishly took his father's side. He insisted he was too busy and too tired to help, and that Martha should do it all in spite of her age and injury. At her limit, Martha threatened to leave the family just like I did if she were forced to do all the work herself without any help. But, as Connor and his father pointed out, unlike me, she didn't have a penny to her name, nor any job from which she could support herself. She tried her best to break away, leaving the house and staying at a motel all alone. But after only a few days on her own, she came back to her ungrateful husband and bratty son, and has been scrubbing floors and washing dishes on her own ever since.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to see more.